Hi everyone, today we are going to do the fifth part of acid, base and salts. In this part, we are going to see only about salts. The salts which we are supposed to study being a class 10th student, that we are going to see. So 5 salts are there that we are going to see properly here. We will see how we will make it, the preparation of those salt which is given in NCERT, which you are supposed to know. The next thing is what we are supposed to know from this topic is what are the uses of these salts, right? What are the chemical use, like in industry and all, how we are using these things, these salts. So that we are going to see. Second thing, at the end of this session, what you are supposed to know. The first thing is what you should know, how we are making this. It means ultimately we should know all the process, like how we are making, what are the chemicals we are using, right? So it is kind of informative things we'll have to remember. There is no other option. Or else you practice again and again, that we can do. Second thing is what you are supposed to know, what are the uses of this salt. So again you'll have to remember. So ultimately this class is completely how much you are doing revision as well as what you are remembering the things. Let's start with the 5 salts which we are going to learn in today's class. The 5 salts to be studied, right? First is what common salt. We are saying what NaCl, sodium chloride. This sodium chloride, if you see calcium oxychloride, these are what chemical names, guys. What is the name of this chemical names? Okay, let it be chemical names of what. And bleaching powder, CaOCl2, calcium oxychloride, right? Calcium oxychloride. That is also a second type of what? Second type of salts which we learned here. Again the name, right? And then we can say what baking soda, NaHCO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate. We know carbonate valency is how much? CO2 valency is what? -2, right? But when you put HCO3, then it becomes what? -1. So NHCO3 becomes what? Na valency 1, HCO3 valency 1, so it becomes NaHCO3, right? Washing soda, if you see Na2CO3 with what? 10H2O, so decahydrate, right? Sodium carbonate, we know the name. Sodium again valency is 1, carbonate valency is 2, so sodium carbonate, Na2CO3 dot what? 10H2O, means what? It is 10 hydrate decahydrate molecules are there, right? POP, plaster of Paris, CaSO4 dot what? Half H2O, that is we can say hemihydrate. What is that? Calcium sulfate plus what? Hemihydrate is there, right? So here we are going to see till what? Sodium baking soda. We will not see washing soda and POP in this class. Next class we will see washing soda, plaster of Paris, and few numericals we are going to see. Let's start with the common salt. So common salt, guys, if you will see, it is what? It is also known as table salt, right? Common salt, or it is also known as what? We can write directly what? Table salt. We already wrote common. It is also known as what? Table salt. It is formed after the reaction between what? Sodium hydroxide. Let's see, sodium hydroxide. So we can say sodium hydroxide is what? NaOH plus what? Plus HCl, right? Then what it will form? What we want to find? So obviously NaCl. See, strong base, strong acid. So guys, the salt is going to be what? Salt is going to be what? Neutral salt, right? It is a neutral salt, obviously. And what? Water, right? So to enhance the taste of food, right? Obviously, if you have not put salt in your food, then what will happen? It will not give a good taste, right? Manufacturing of many chemicals by what? This NaCl, right? Okay. Let's see how we'll produce this. So one process there, that process name is what? Chloroalkali process, right? Chloroalkali process. In this, what we are taking? One cathode, one anode, right? NaCl, what is that? Sodium chloride solution we put here. Sodium chloride, or we can say brine solution we put there. Think about that. If you put a brine solution, then what it is going to be is what? It will. And then we are passing electricity. There we put a cathode, we put anode, and then if you pass electricity, then obviously NaCl will break into what? Cl and then what? H2, right? Cl and what? H2, like Cl and Na, right? Cl and what? Na. That is what we wrote. Chlorine and sodium will what? Sodium will form. Now sodium will go. Now think about of that. If two things are there, one is cathode, one is what? Anode. Let's see. We will see that cathode and then what? Anode. Guys, cathode is what here? Cathode, what we will say? Negative. Anode is what here? Positive, right? Here is what we can say now. Let's take, here is what? This is negative and this is what? Positive. So if you'll break NaCl, right, it will convert into Na plus and Cl minus. Guys, it is an aqueous solution, right? Na plus and what? Cl minus. So Cl will come to what? This, right? Na will come to what? This, right? Na will come to towards negative, right? And then so Na aqueous. Na is what here? Aqueous. Plus it will take what? One electron. So it will become Na solid. Right? This Na solid it become, and then Na, there is water also, right? Na solid plus H2O becomes what? NaOH. That is what we are supposed to get from here, right? So that we got from here. Second thing we can say what here? Here is Cl minus, right? Cl minus. N number of protons are here. So one proton it will gain. So it will become chlorine, right? And that too 2Cl will come. See, otherwise it will become nascent, right? So which is not possible. One electron will take, it will become chlorine gas. So by that way, we'll get what? NaOH as well as what? Cl2 will get, as well H2 also will come out. H2 how? We can say H2 will come out. So H2 we will get what? In cathode, right? So these three elements we will get here. Fine. After that, if you will see here, so what will happen? We'll put a chlorine, we'll put NaCl, that will come, and then we'll pass electricity through that, right? With water also we'll put there. So that NaCl will convert into what? Na plus and Cl minus gas, right? After that, what? H2 gas will also produce because water is there anyway. So what will happen? Cl will go to what? Positive side, and Na will go to what? Negative side. Due to that, Na is solid here, right? Aqueous first, it will gain one electron, it will become Na solid. So that Na solid will react with what? As H2O. H2O, it become what? NaOH. And then chlorine will gain one electron, it will become what? So, chlorine gas. So by this way, if this reaction will take place. So we can say here NaCl plus what? H2O gives what? NaOH plus Cl2 plus H2. Fine. Now we can say that three things happens here at anode and cathode. What happens here is at anode H2 and Cl2 will form at cathode, and NaOH will form, after making of what? Sodium. So if you see H2 uses, if you will see here, then it is really explosive, right? So we can say it is used as a fuel. It is used as what? Fuel. Second thing is what? A margarine, right? It is used as margarine. Margarine means what? Suppose to convert what? To convert margarine means what we can say? To convert oil to fat, right? Oil to what? Fat. And then we can say ammonia as a fertilizer, right? Ammonia, how it will form? H2 is there, right? So N2, how we'll get N2 here? N2 plus what? H2, it will become what? NH3. So that also, if you take H2 plus what? N2 will get, it will become what? Fertilizers, like ammonia it will become. Ammonia is used as what? Fertilizers. Second thing, if you will see here at cathode, if you will see, we will get what? Water treatment, right? Chlorine used to do disinfectants, and then swimming pools will put, right? It is used to make what? PVC, polyvinyl chloride. And then we can say what? It is used as a pesticides. And CFC also, CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, right? So now we are not using that much. Before we were using chlorofluorocarbon. So it is used as what? Water treatment, swimming pools, like to clean, to make it germ free. And then what? PVC is disinfectant, and then CFC, pesticides, right? After that, if you see NaOH, degreasing metals, right? To degrease metals, so detergent papers, making what? Artificial fibers. So these are the uses of what? Chlorine. These are the uses of what? Chlorine, hydrogen, and NaOH, right? Second, we can take what here, that if chlorine and chlorine gas and hydrogen will combine together, then what will happen? Like Cl2 plus what? H2. So obviously it will become what? 2HCl. So that uses of this, if you will see, the uses is going to be what? For cleaning steel, for cleaning what? Steel. And then we can say used in what? Ammonium chloride. Used in what? Ammonium chloride. As we it will react with what? NH3 plus what? HCl will form what? NH4Cl, ammonium chloride, right? So this is the uses used in medicine. Used in what? Medicine and cosmetics, right? Because chlorine is there, right? Okay. So these are the uses of what? This of chlorine, hydrogen, and NaOH. Let's see the next chemical, salt we are supposed to know, that is what? Bleaching powder, right? Bleaching powder, if you will see, we can say what? Bleaching powder is used as what? We also known as what? Calcium oxychloride. Bleaching powder is represented as what? CaOCl2, right? CaOCl2. And then we can take what? It is produced by the action of chlorine on dry slag lime. Dry slag lime, what is that? Produced by the action of what? Chlorine on a dry slag lime. Let's see how we'll do this. Produced by action of chlorine on dry slag lime. So chlorine and what? So Cl2 gas we can take, and dry slag lime, NaOH. So that is going to convert into what? Calcium oxychloride plus what? H2O. Then you can balance it. It is used for what? Bleaching cotton and linen. Again, chlorine is there, right? Chlorine means obviously this cleaning property will be there, right? For bleaching cotton and linen in textile industry, and for bleaching wood pulp in the paper industry, right? Used for disinfecting drinking water to make it free from germs. Used as an oxidizing agent in many chemical industries of what? Germs. So this is the use of what? Bleaching powder, calcium oxychloride. Okay, the today's last topic, the salt, we can say that is what? Baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. We know it is, we are using in pakora, right? And then to make it what? Little tough, right? Rigid, like crunchy kind of nature it gives. And in what is that? Dosa, right? A dosa if you make, so there if you will put, it will become what? Fluffy. So chemical formula of sodium bicarbonate, right? Sodium hydrogen carbonate also we can say. Sodium valency is 1, hydrogen carbonate valency is 1. So NaHCO3. It is used on a large scale by treating cold and concentrated solution of what? NaCl with ammonia, right? NaCl plus ammonia plus H2O gives what? NaCl, we can say by this way, NaCl, right? NaCl plus NH3 plus H2O plus CO2 gives what? NH4Cl, right? And NaHCO3, NaHCO3. So on this one, if NaHCO3, if you will heat it, right? If you will heat it, it will decompose. So that it will decompose into what? Na2CO3 plus H2O plus CO2, right? So this we will get on decomposing of what? Baking soda, right? Used as an anti-acid. NaHCO3 is a mild base, right? So if you feel acidity, you can use this, right? Used as an anti-acid to treat acidity of the stomach, right? If you feel acidity, if you don't have anything, then you can take a little baking soda mixed with water. You will drink. You can drink, right? Used to make baking powder. This is again important point. Here is what? Used to make baking powder, which is used in the preparation of what? Cakes and breads, right? So why we are making baking powder? Why we are not baking from that baking soda? Thing is what? It is more soluble. Maybe something, some other things will be there. But how we are making this thing is what we can do. What used in making what? Baking powder. So NaHCO3 we will take NaHCO3, NaHCO3 plus what? Some edible acid. Edible acid we can say tartaric acid. Tartaric acid. So this if you will add in this, then it is going to convert into what? Baking powder, right? Baking powder. Why we are making baking powder from baking soda is what? It is easy to use and it mixes properly, right? So it gives good nature. Okay, so this is the used to make what? Baking powder, which is used for the preparation of cake and breads, right? And used as what? Soda acid. Next uses what? Soda acid fire extinguisher, NaHCO3. That is used as what? Soda extinguisher fire, right? So what will happen here is if this will react, NaHCO3 plus HCl will react, then what will happen? NaHCO3 plus what? HCl. So it gives what? NaCl plus what? H2O plus CO2. Guys, see here, CO2 is heavier than what? Heavier than air, right? So when you will put extinguisher, fire extinguisher, CO2, then what will happen? CO2 will go down, and then what? It will make a kind of blanket, right? It will cut supply of air. So there we can use what? Soda acid fire extinguisher. Now like why we are using baking powder, right? So whenever baking powder will be there, so there is one thing you will see here common is what? Common thing is CO2. CO2 is what? When you will mix that like baking soda with any dosa or cake something, and then when you will heat the pan, like this is the pan and then you are heating it. So when you will heat it, then what will happen? From here CO2 will come out. What will come out? CO2 will come out. When it come out CO2, you make the things what? Cake and soda, dosa and all, make it what? Fluffy. So we are using baking soda. So in today's class we have learned 3 salts. That is what? NaCl, right? Common salt. And then we have learned the uses of this. Then we learned bleaching powder, and then we have done what? Baking soda. Till here you guys revise. See in the next class remaining 2. Till here you guys revise it properly. Okay, we'll see in the next class. Bye.